The new project I've got going in the Civil Rights Division, to the surprise of many people on both sides, is the Second Amendment.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hey, we've got some huge Second Amendment news that we need to talk about today, coming out of the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. Now, you may or may not know that I made a video about a month ago talking about how the Civil Rights Division was actually going after Second Amendment infringements in the state of California, namely the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and their excessively long wait times to get a CCW. Now, in the comment section of that video, I got a lot of people asking questions about whether or not the Civil Rights Division or the DOJ is going to go after other infringements in other states. Well, thankfully, we just got our answer. So in a recent interview with Glenn Beck, Harmeet Dhillon, who is now the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division, said some things about the Second Amendment that I have never heard a politician say. As a matter of fact, she calls out several states like California and New York over their civil rights violations pertaining to the Second Amendment. I have the full video clip that I want to share with you guys so you can see it for yourself. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thumbs ups are always appreciated. That little alarm bell will let you know when new videos come out. And share this video with other people who might find it interesting as well. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive right into this. So Harmeet Dhillon is a very impressive person with a very impressive resume, and her resume contains decades of fighting for people's civil rights. And of course, the Second Amendment is a civil right. It's been overlooked by pretty much every political party for the past 100 years, and that's why we have the NFA, the GCA, and all of these other laws that we've been fighting back against ever since. It is treated like a second-class right and not like a right that's equal with all other rights. So this is a very impressive interview. I want to show it to you right now. Take a look at what Harmeet Dhillon has to say about the Second Amendment.
I mean, the new project I've got going in the Civil Rights Division, to the surprise of many people on both sides, is the Second Amendment. Who's protecting the Second Amendment in the federal government? Prior Republican administrations haven't paid a lot of attention to affirmatively doing that. But, in the wake of clear guidance from the United States Supreme Court protecting our right to, own and use firearms in most circumstances throughout the United States, city after city, state after state are eviscerating those rights. They're mocking the Supreme Court by passing laws that make it virtually impossible. Colorado just passed a law that is extremely onerous and imposes a financial burden on gun ownership. California is wink, wink, nudge, nudge, allowing you to apply for concealed carry in multiple places, and then they don't staff the departments that do the interviews. DC, I came here to DC. I have firearm. I'm a firearms owner. I inquired about the process. It's months before I can get an appointment with the chief of police or the police department to even apply to exercise my Second Amendment rights. Well, I'm exercised about that. I'm not happy about that, and I might be doing something about that. New York has a host of laws that are different in upstate New York and different in New York City, and they all violate the Constitution. So we will be working together to make this a focus of the Civil Rights Division, challenging state law that violates fundamental civil rights in the Civil Rights Division.
So that's huge. Basically what she's saying is that the Department of Justice, through the Civil Rights Division, is going to be challenging state laws that infringe on people's Second Amendment rights. So we have the federal government now challenging states over their Second Amendment infringements. This is huge because the groups that like to push these types of laws, Everytown, Giffords, Moms Demand, since we have the new administration in office, have really switched their focus to the state level and passing new laws at the state level. So if we can have the Department of Justice actively go after these infringements and attempt to overturn them, that would be a very powerful force to maybe see some change at the state level. Because as it stands right now, like in New York and California, where there's a super majority on the left in the legislature and obviously the governor's offices, nothing ever gets done. There's just no representation from conservatives in these states, at least not enough to actually do anything. So if the federal government, through Department of Justice, can actually go after these existing laws and overturn them in court, that would be massive. So at this point, they've only really gone after the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, but it is good to know that they actually have a plan and a project to go after these states who have been infringing on people's Second Amendment rights, like she mentioned in there, Colorado as well, which, as you know, just passed some absolutely horrible laws. So if the DOJ and the Civil Rights Division can go after these infringements on the state level and actually get something done, I will be really impressed. Because honestly, like I said before, you just don't hear politicians talk like this, and it's nice to hear somebody speak who actually understands that the Second Amendment is a civil right and should be upheld like every other civil right, and not just ignored by the, quote-unquote Civil Rights Division. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I thought that was a very big statement by Harmeet Dhillon. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thumbs ups are always appreciated. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about today's topic. And you guys have a good one.